Manchester United versus Arsenal on Sunday. Here is my predicted starting 11. Changes have got to be made by Erik Ten Hag. Welcome to the United Hot Sport. My name is Webb now. This is not the starting 11 I expect Erik Ten Hag to start, but this is what I think would be the best approach to this game. Now we know how struggling Manchester United is and how flying Arsenal are. And if we first of all appreciate that, as Manchester United, whereas Arsenal act rivals, you've got to go into this game with respect, with the knowledge and understanding and appreciation that Arsenal are balling this season. They are title contenders, and it's not by mistake. They have earned every right to be there, just like we've earned every right to be in the position where we are. Now, with that in mind, that should guide our game plan and approach for this game. I look at Erik Ten Hag, and one of the constant issues I've had with Erik Ten Hag is him being a one-trick pony. That he's so invested in his style that even when he knows the opponent he's facing is one who will destroy him with his style, he does not have the players to execute it to the T. He will still stick to it. And he even went on to defend it in the interview with Gary Neville. Now, against Man City, Erik Ten Hag tried to adjust. When Man City beat us by 3-1, if you do recall, Ten Hag tried to adjust his formation in that game. I thought for me that was a smart thing to do. Never mind us losing, because we were always meant to lose against Man City. I think the fact that he changed things around you so that Manchester United looked organized. Manchester City were made to work for the 3 goals they scored. And for me, that was fair enough. Actually, I look at that game and I'm thinking this was a good tactical plan by Erik Ten Hag. Now, as we take on Arsenal, what should be the plan? Guys, we are going to build this starting 11 together. I've come up with what I've thought, and I've taken time to try and think and say, what exactly should we do in this game? We cannot open ourselves. The biggest issues we have as United are through the central axis, where we don't have balance in the middle. When you lose the ball, when they're coming at us, there are so many spaces, acres of spaces in the midfield, that good players like Bukayo Saka, good players like Martin Odegaard, good players like Declan Rice, all these Arsenal players, Kai Havertz, will exploit and punish us. So what do we then do? For me, my thinking is, let us first go with the intention of first of all managing the game. We contain Arsenal for as long as we can. We try to limit them because they will dominate possession. They will come at us. That's obvious. But we need to limit them. We need to control them. Remember, they're also going to dominate possession, come at us, but also playing cautious, knowing that we could score goals and make it difficult for them. So what then do we do? We are at Old Trafford. Let's first control them the way we try to control Manchester City, by packing the midfield. The objective for Manchester United first is not just to win, is not to win. The first objective is not to lose against Arsenal. A draw in that game would be a positive result for United, and one that perhaps Arsenal wouldn't want. So they have some bit of pressure. Let's contain them by packing the midfield. So I would go for, of course, the back 4. Definitely, and people have been saying, why not play back 3? I don't think we've got the right personnel to play back 3. I think it's a risky thing to play against Arsenal. But if Lisandro Martinez is even 60% fit, I don't want to see Casemiro back in the defense against Arsenal. I don't want to see that happening. So in the event that Martinez is even 60% fit, let him start, because he may not give us 90 minutes, but let him be there to try and organize the team, because he trained with his teammates. So let us hope he can be, these few days, he can be able to come and start the game. Martinez and Evans, that's experience in the back together with physique. So let Martinez, we have 2 natural centre backs in the central defense. Wan-Bissaka goes on the left, Diogo Dalot on the right. It's bad to kill Diogo Dalot by playing him on the left because we miss his overlapping runs. And Erik Ten Hag this time should ensure that Dalot's overlapping runs are to the right. They are overlapping like it is to the right, not lapping while coming in, because many times we've seen Dalot almost out of place, playing as in a number 10 position. We've seen him as almost in the number 11. He's all over the place. Let Dalot stay on the right flank, because we are going to kill some bit of depth in my preferred starting 11. So that's the back line for me. Licha, Wan-Bissaka, Evans, and Dalot. Then in the middle, let Amrabat come in, because we need to pack the midfield, come up with a fairly defensive approach to this game. So what then do you do? Erik Ten Hag, forget about the single pivot of having Casemiro alone to defend Odegaard, Kai Havertz. These guys are the way they play in pockets. He can't. It's going to be a chances galore for Arsenal. Andre Onana is going to be so busy. Limit it. So Amrabat should come, stand in front of the back four, shield the back four. Yeah. So you have Amrabat there shielding the back four. Then have two number 8s. On the right, they are blocking ahead of him. Casemiro on the right and Kobe Maino on the left. Then let Bruno play ahead of them, probably together with Garnacho. They play ahead of Maino and Casemiro. Then Bruno this way. Now, of course, someone can say we are killing off the width. We don't need the width in this game, guys. The first thing we need to do is to be compact. Now, when we get the ball, then Højlund up top. Now, when we get the ball, Garnacho can sprint wide, Bruno can sprint wide. When we lose the ball, they come back and add to try to make us more compact. We need to be compact. For me, we need to sacrifice. If you're going to have a winning approach against Arsenal, there's got to be sacrifices made. And for me, the first sacrifice should be the wing position. Now, if we start this game, go on for, I think with this compact formation, we can contain Arsenal for 70 minutes without them finding a pinhole to score. Now, after 70 minutes, at least then you're almost sure now the pressure is beginning to mount on them. They are beginning to panic because the goals are not coming, because they can't afford to draw. They need to be winning all their remaining games. Otherwise, they're losing the title to Man City. So what then do you do? This is when Erik Ten Hag can now start thinking of bringing on players like Amad Diallo now to try and perhaps get a goal. So he can now start bringing on players like Amad Diallo. Who do you pull off for Amad? Pull off someone who is not functioning. You can pull off maybe a Kobe who has been tired, or an Amrabat or Casemiro. Pull off anyone, then to drop in a player who will stretch the game. Bring on your Ahmad. He loves Anthony. He must bring him on somewhere. But those should come on after like 70 minutes of the game. So for me, that way, Manchester United will stand a chance. That way, Manchester United, for me, will stand a chance to contain Arsenal, not to be humiliated by Arsenal, to put on a decent performance against Arsenal. And for me, it all takes Erik Ten Hag changing his mind, opening up his mind, and not sticking to a formation that has consistently been exposing his team. If he doesn't do that, trust you me, in your watching, you cannot be a one-trick pony. You lost 4-0 playing your trusted formation, but clearly it was all exposed and broken down. There is no coordination between the players. They're all over the place, and we've been saying it before. This is, I think, was the perfect chance, opportunity for us to see it, that formation of a single pivot creates a lot of space in the middle. Now imagine if it's Bukayo Saka. You saw how that goal that came from Michael Olise, how he flew in from the right and cut inside. Trust you me, Bukayo Saka with that space, playing with Martin Odegaard, with their good left feet, Andre Onana will have his worst day in office. So it is upon Erik Ten Hag, and it's even not about now which players are 100% fit or not. If Licha is there, no Casemiro playing in the central defense again. Let Casemiro play in his preferred midfield, but let Amrabat, when he came on in the last game, he tried to run around and do things. But I think even if he's not at the best level, we need more defensive cover against Arsenal. We are playing against a team that is close to Manchester City, perhaps even more effective. They are extremely dangerous, and you see, battles against such teams are won in the middle. If we are dominated in the midfield, which they can properly do with Declan Rice, probably Thomas Partey could be thrown in there as well, then Martin Odegaard, then you have Kai Havertz, then Bukayo Saka flying in from the right. I mean, it's going to be a goals galore if Erik Ten Hag sticks to his formation. If Erik Ten Hag doesn't adjust, we are done. So it might sound odd, but I don't expect to see two wingers. Now, Marcus Rashford returned to training, and of course, in such games, you're thinking Marcus Rashford needs to be there. Now, if he can create room for Rashford, if he's also fully fit, Rashford to start needs to be fully fit. But if Marcus Rashford is fully fit because of his pace, because in this game, in this approach, you're banking on counter, getting this team on the counter, and Rashford has got pace to him. So if that is the case, then Erik Ten Hag might again make one more sacrifice, but a sacrifice that will not injure how compact the midfield is. For me, the untouchables in this are Kobe, uh, Amrabat, Casemiro. Those are untouchable. Now, Bruno, depending on his fitness, I'll put Bruno there because there is no way Bruno is going to be out for 2 games because of an arm injury. It's not happening. That's not Bruno Fernandes for you. He's 50%. They're assessing him, but chances are 50-50. So 50% chances. I think he will take the 50 and slide back into that game. And for such a big, important game, Erik Ten Hag knows how we need him. But for me, Erik Ten Hag has just got to adjust his formation and don't play the same thing over and over again, because Arsenal have probably been studying these Man United videos without even respect, because they know the spaces, they see where to pass. Make it difficult for them by packing the way we try to make it difficult for Man City, that they had to work for each of the 3 goals they scored. They had to work. They were made to work. In that game, Ten Hag played a weird position, like a 3-6-1 or something, or a 4-5-1 or something. They were packed in the middle. Yes, do the same thing if you have to, because you need to respect Arsenal the way we respected Man City, but knowing that Arsenal, whereas yes, we respect them, but we have a chance to punish them because they are under pressure. They are coming with pressure, but also they will respect us. So it will be a very interesting game. But we cannot set, let's go and try to bring the game to them. Be proactive, like he keeps saying. Let's be proactive. This team can never be proactive. If against Crystal Palace, you cannot be proactive. You can't put 4-5 good passes together. You can't cover gaps, easy gaps. You can't be proactive against Arsenal. Just contain them so that we are not humiliated. If Arsenal beats Manchester United terribly again at Old Trafford, trust you me, never mind the injuries. Ten Hag will go in the press conference and shout injuries and what have you and loss of patterns. No one will listen to that. But if United lose, but with a fight, with order, with an adjustment information, with players fighting, showing desire, playing, putting together a plan, with a game plan, trust me, we will feel for him and say, okay, maybe there is a chance. But the issue with Ten Hag is him being lost in his style, and he doesn't change it, whether he's playing Crystal Palace or Millwall or what, he's playing the same way, as if the other teams don't prepare for him, as if he thinks he's playing, with village teams that don't have, videos to analyze and explore weaknesses in a formation. You can't do that as a manager. That's an issue with Erik Ten Hag. We hope to see a response in this one. Give me your comment and let me know what you think about that shape. It's like a Christmas tree. Yeah, it's like a Christmas tree or a triangle. That's the shape. So for me, I think that's Christmas tree shape is what we need to try and contain Arsenal. They won't find the spaces to create pinholes. That is you being a manager, adjusting your team based on the opponent, their strength, and the weaknesses you have. If we had players who can play proactive, pass the ball, we would feel confident to bring the game on. But you see, these are players who even don't want to play for Erik Ten Hag. So what then do you do? At the very worst, if he doesn't want to do that, then throw on the youngsters. Let them just go and destroy and just entertain everyone. So they consider as they entertain. Throw on as many youngsters as you logically can, and just rest some of these so-called senior players who are not willing to play. That's my take. My name is Webb. This is the United Road Sport. Subscribe, and I'll catch you later.